Hey everybody, this is Drew from Clean Cheap Shots. I got a PSA Blind Reveal for you today. Well, maybe not completely blind because I saw that there was a couple of cards that were not graded and I wanted to see which ones those were, and I'm going to, of course, show you those. And, well, I guess maybe we'll just go ahead and start with that. The first one is this 1952 Johnny Hop. Now, it says altered, and when I did my pre-grading, 1952 Johnny Hop, I thought maybe a 3. I thought I saw some paper loss, but maybe this was the issue. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. You can see it right there. But now I'm wondering if maybe somebody had marked it in some way and then tried to take an eraser to it, and that's what gave it the altered, which would make sense. So I get that. Now the next one is from 1953. If you watched my videos in the past, you'll know that I pre-grade it and I write down the seller of which I bought it from, which is Greg Morris Cards on eBay. In this case, they had it down as an excellent to excellent mint, which is, you know, roughly a PSA 5. And it came back as trimmed. I'll have to break it out or pull it out and compare it to other ones, but a little disappointed. You know, I spent probably about $95 on this card, and so I'm a little disappointed it came back as evidence trimmed. I did write Greg Morris Cards and tell him, hey, you know, this card came back trimmed. However, I am outside of the 30 days that they offer in return, and I haven't heard back from them. It's been a few days, so I guess we'll see what they say. I'm not sure. I guess if it were trimmed, it must have been maybe trimmed along the top, because that's the most narrow piece of the card. But who knows? Just so you know, I sent this out and it was received on, I believe it was October 11th, 2023. And I got it back on February 10th. Now, interestingly, I kind of like this part. PSA is now showing an estimated time of turnaround, and it was originally January 25th, and then they bumped it to like February 5th, and then I got it, like I said, I think it was around February 10th or something like that. So, all right, moving forward, we're going to start with the newest and going to the oldest. So the newest of the cards I have is a 1959 Bob Serve. And so Morris Cards thought near mint. I thought PSA 7 would work. Let's see what we get here. Ooh, 5.5. I'd have to say we were both wrong. No points awarded on that one. I really thought this was a pretty sharp card, so I'm a little surprised 5.5, be honest with you. Oh, we'll set Bob up there for now. The next is a 1956 Al Rosen. And I thought it was going to be a 5. Morris Cards, excellent mint. I think that's they're kind of hedging their bets. It's either a 5 or a 6. So, but I love the cartoons on the back of these older cards. They're awesome. All right, what do we get? 4. No points for Drew. No points for Greg Morris. We were both wrong again. Still a nice looking card. Al Rosen. Next up is another 1956 of Jack Harshman. Now, I was thinking this would be a 5, Morris Cards had this down as a near mint. I'd love to have the near mint. Well, let's see what we get here. I'm just checking out the cartoon again. All right, what do we get? 7. All right, excellent. Well, near mint, actually. So in this case, I got it wrong, and Greg Morris gets 1 point. We'll bring in another one of these stands here. There we go. All right, next is Topps 1955, Ken Boyer. I thought 4, Morris Cards, was thinking more along the lines of a 5. And I'm trying to put together a Ken Boyer run here. This is his rookie card. And what did we get? A 4. So Morris Cards was wrong, and Drew got a point. Current score, 1-1. And we'll bump Bob to the back here. Put Ken Boyer up here. Next up, Stan Hack, Topps 1955. I was thinking 6. Morris Cards was thinking at least a 5. And we both got it wrong. All right. Move Stan back here a little bit. And now we're going to get into some 1953 cards that I had graded. And I did not note the seller on this. So had it come from Morris Cards, I would have noted that. I thought a PSA 5. And came back as a 4. Joe Coleman. These 1953 cards are just so beautiful. So we're going to swap out Al Rosen for Joe Coleman. All right, next up. I'll get it to focus here. Henry Foils, Topps 1953. I thought it was a 4. I saw a little problem, looks like on the lower left corner. You probably can't read my writing. And I did happen to write down the price. I spent $42 on this card, plus shipping and handling of $5.05. And right down here, that's the seller. Might be my first purchase from this seller. So let's see what we got on this one. And this one came back as a 3. When I was saying 4. Okay, 3. So get a little closer look at this one here. It kind of looks like maybe there was a little bit of a crease down here in the lower left. That's probably what I was indicating in my note. That corner's touched up right along that black border there. I think those are printing lines only. You can see there. This particular card, this Henry Foils card. So I finally completed my graded set of 1953, and Willie Mays was the last card that I had to get to complete the set. But Henry Foils took me 18 years to find in a PSA 5 as well. And if you go out and look, you're just not going to find very many graded Henry Foils cards. I don't know why, but they are difficult to find. So I actually started purchasing a few raw ones and thought I'd get them graded and see if I couldn't improve my score of PSA 5 on my set and maybe sell the other ones. So we'll put Henry Foils there. Next up is another 1953 seller unknown. I felt PSA 4 would probably be about right. And yep, got that right. So Harry Dorish, PSA 5. Hoping anyway. And came back as a 4. Next 1953 card I have here is Johnny Growth. I was expecting a 4. 3.5. Couldn't quite get to a 4 apparently for them. Next, 1953, Bob Borkowski, PSA 5. And what did we get? 3.5. Looks like I've got to do some work on my pre-grading. I'm not doing well. 3.5. Still a nice looking card. You know, something doesn't look quite right here for some reason. I got to look at this a little closer. It almost looks like they used a different plastic, or PSA that is, or put it in a penny sleeve. I can't really tell, but for some reason, I don't know if you can see that. It looks really different than, you know, that. So I don't know, again, if that's, I don't know. It looks like, again, it looks like it's in a penny sleeve or something. I don't know. I can't figure that one out. I'll get in under the jeweler's loop and see if I can spot the difference. 2 cards left. First is 1952. And this card I pre-graded a 4. Again, I purchased this from Morris Cards. They were thinking about a 4 as well. And looks like we both got it wrong. 3. Still 1952. Happy to have it in a 3. I'm going to move Ken Boyer out of the way here for a second. And last card. So actually, this is going to be the oldest card I have in my collection. I don't do any pre-war, at least at this point I haven't. And so I went out and grabbed this from Morris Cards. I thought maybe a 3. I wasn't sure what to grade it because of the paper loss. And you'll see that paper loss right along the top, probably right where it was perforated. And so Morris Cards was thinking around a 4. I was thinking maybe a 3, but paper loss, I didn't know how far down they would degrade it. And 2. So Morris Cards and I were both wrong. All told, Morris Cards and Drew from Clean Cheap Shots were generally wrong. And I got 1 right, and Greg Morse got 1 right out of all these cards. So there you have it. But I still like this card. I knew that it had the paper loss. I could even kind of see it right there. But I was okay with it. So I appreciate you stopping by, and keep growing your collection, card farmers. Until next time.